We're gonna go like this. We're gonna try and get the Mighty Miner on the tower. Peep the Mighty Miner, peep the Mighty Miner. See, it's just too much spam, dude. It's just too much spam. The Mighty Miner and Wall Breakers are gonna take his entire tower. What is up, gamers? For those of you that don't know, the Double Evolution Tournament is officially underway, which means you are in need of a deck. So over the course of the video, I'm going to be showing you 5 of the strongest decks for the Double Evolution Tournament. And the best thing about all the decks that I'm going to be showing you today is they're all going to be very different from one another. So there is a very high chance that at least one of these decks is perfect for you and your playstyle. But it's like I always say, you can't take my word for it because as we know, talk is cheap. 5 games, 5 different decks. Let's do it. Alright, into our first match of the video with our first deck of the video, and that is going to be Lava Hound. If you are playing with Lava Hound, if you like beatdown style of decks, I think Lava Hound is probably the best beatdown deck that you can use in the Double Evolution Tournament. The deck that I show on stream, on screen is incredibly strong. Golem is another strong beatdown, but I think Lava is just a little bit better. There are a lot of, bait style of decks, and Lava Hound does good against that. And in general, of all of the, beatdown style of decks, I think it has maybe the most outplay potential. With the current starting hand that I have now, I don't really want to cycle anything, so I'm going to leak a little bit and then cycle arrows. We see a bomber, which doesn't really tell us too much. Alright, we're going to drop our skeleton dragons in the back. I'm running it with the chef tower. That's definitely what I would recommend, but you can kind of do whatever you want. Alright, we see the monk come down. Don't 100% know, what we're going to be going up against, but that's okay. I'm going to wait. I want more information. It kind of looks like it's going to be Royal Giant, which shouldn't be horrible for us, but we'll see. I'm going to go like this to make sure that these guards get a little more value against the monk, and it's going to put us in a good position. All right. Alrighty. All right, now it's going to be a good time for me to go in for a lava here. Yeah, I'm just going to arrows on this. And we're going to eat a little bit of damage, but that was like a really weird fisherman. The nice thing about lava too is you don't have to make too many decisions as a Lava Hound player to be good. You only need to make 1 or 2 good decisions. Like you can see here, I haven't had to play that many cards in the game. It's one of the most patient decks inside of Clash Royale. It's a really good Electro Spirit by him, but this is still going to pretty much take care of most of the Phoenix, which is nice. He's going to get... Ooh, that was a really smart monk because now the Phoenix Egg is going to respawn, so I got to hand it to him. That was a really good play. The good thing about playing Cannoneer Tower, although there aren't many good things about playing the Cannoneer Tower, is that it does really bad against the Lava Pups. The reason I went for a zap there was because of the Bomber. And now you can see we've baited out his Phoenix, and we can set up for another Lava Hound. So, again, if you're playing this deck in the tournament, it's really strong. So I would definitely recommend using it. We're going to eat some damage here, but we're not going to lose our entire tower, and that's, the important thing. Okay, really good lightning by him. Alright, let's get ready. Since he doesn't have lightning, we can kind of spam with the balloon. And I fully expect to take his tower here, and in a 2-tower situation, Lava Hound is definitely the move. Okay, balloon's going to take the tower. Nice. And so now, even if he, overspends greatly and takes our tower, we're, in a really good spot to take his tower. So that's, yeah, you can see this is why Lava notoriously is just incredible, because they have to spend so much just to defend a lava, and now this lane is clogged. He goes for a lightning. He's not really going to be able to defend a lot of our pressures, so this is going to be GG's here, I would imagine. I'm going to go with the balloon behind all of this. Shoutouts to Lava Hound for being one of the easiest decks of all time. We're going to go like this. He's going to have to cycle back to a Phoenix, but he can't really stop all of this from taking his tower. So it's also really good for the global tournament because it's a really good way to get 3 crowns. As you can see here, there's not a lot they can do. So deck number 1, Lava Hound. Easy win there. We're going to see you in our next game with the next deck. Into our next match of the video with our next deck, I wanted to throw a couple curveballs at you. So we're actually going to be running with Graveyard. Not a lot of people run Graveyard nowadays, but this deck is really good in the meta, especially after the buff to the Cannoneer Tower. This Graveyard variant is actually really good. Or not Cannoneer, sorry. The Evo Cannon is really good. I was getting distracted by my opponent. So we're going to be rocking with this Graveyard variant. I do think this is the best variant of the deck. I'm actually going to go in for a Graveyard here. I don't always recommend going in single elixir, but we're positioned really well here to go in for this Graveyard. I'm going to take this poison and hopefully get a decent amount of damage on the tower. We'll see. I know it was kind of an aggressive play, but it felt like it was something that I could get away with. Just because he kind of like wasted a little bit of elixir there, and because Goblinstein is still like stupidly broken. Looks like he's going to be running, I was going to say either Golem or RG or something like that, so looks like it is RG. So anyways, this graveyard deck is really, really strong. We should fare pretty well against Royal Giant for the most part, as long as we don't play like moronically for too long. I think another reason I like this deck, this is one of the like higher skill ceiling decks. So if you're someone who's really good and you enjoy like control style of decks, you play graveyard or you played graveyard in the past, this is going to be a really good deck option for you. Okay, we're going to do this. I'm curious to see if he goes in for a lightning. It wouldn't be the end of the world if they do lightning it. It'd be a -1 trade. Yeah, he opts to just go for the Goblin Cage. I feel like that's probably the right play, TBH, and I think I'm just going to go for a poison here onto the cage and onto everything. I don't want to go in for a graveyard yet and put myself in a position where I would be like too compromised on defense. Pop this ability here. Yeah, maybe not the best ability. And we're going to go Ice Wizard and then Knight like this to pull everything in. And the Ice Wizard on defense is like so amazing. Like the way that it just slows everything down. Nice. Good Tornado. And look at this, dude. Ice Wizard, Tornado plus Knight. You stop that from getting a single shot on the tower. Like that defense is absolutely insane, and that's one of the many reasons why I love this deck, is of how boosted the defense is. We're gonna do this. You see how he chooses to defend. We're gonna go for a poison here. Oh my god, his deck just gives us so much poison value, and the Chef Tower is so bad against the Graveyard. We're gonna pop this ability. Yeah, I had a feeling he was gonna go in for the Lumberjack, and his troops just disappear, dude. It feels so bad. He hasn't played a big spell yet, so I'm kind of wondering like what is the big spell, you know what I mean? Waiting for the lightning before I go for a cannon. And that is the defensive wombo combo right there. Tornado plus Ice Wizard, for those of you wondering. And again, we have Evil Knight. I'm going to go for this graveyard, and we're going to get a really good poison. Like, this deck is so good. This deck is really good. I'm not even playing that like that well or that patiently, but the outplay potential is just bonkers. And guess what? We're going to get another Ice Wizard down and another Knight. I mean, I'm confused, frankly, about his deck though. Like, when is the lightning gonna come down? When is the big spell gonna come down? Maybe he's playing without a big spell. I don't know. Like sometimes that's a thing. But oh no, he only has arrows. What? Wow. Okay. Well, I wasn't expecting him to only have arrows. That's horrible. So at this point, we're within a double poison range. So yeah, I get that play. He thought we were going to go in for a graveyard. I'm actually just going to cycle one poison. And because we have the 3-card cycle, we're going to get back to another one. I just want to flex the offensive cannon, so we're going to do that. Tornado everything back, and that's going to be good game. So good game to that player. We had matchup times a million because he only had arrows. But that deck is really strong, and it is a control deck. So if you're a very, very good player, you like control style of decks, this deck is for you. We're going to hold that W. I'll see you in the next game, the next deck. For today's video for the global tournament, deck number 3 is what I call like spam or no skill spam or bridge spam. Anything that runs like royal recruits with spam is pretty no skill. It features the Evo Dart Goblin and the newly boosted Mighty Miner. So I think this deck is really good. You can also run it with the Goblinstein as well. So there's 2 variants of the same like style of deck. I'm gonna try and hit the bomber here. No, I kind of clipped the bomber. Yeah, so I'm running Mighty Miner with Evo Dart Goblin, but like I mentioned, you can also run it with the Goblinstein as well. So really good deck. This is kind of a lower skill floor deck, just meaning that it's like pretty easy to learn. So if you're someone and you're like, I don't really know what to play, and you just want to play something, and this would be a good like starter deck, I guess you could call it. All right, because he went for those arrows and he doesn't have his bomber and cycle, I'm going to split royal recruits. This deck is relatively simple to play. I mean, obviously at the highest level it's complex, but you kind of just split your troops and try and force out a lot of elixir from your opponent on defense and try and capitalize. So I'm actually going to arrows on the bomber here. Timed pretty decently, and then you're kind of just like looking at them and you're like, wow, it's going to be really awkward for them to defend a lot of the spam, or at least it can be. This guy actually has some pretty good answers, but that's okay. Dart Goblin on defense is going to clean everything up because Dart Goblin is amazing. We get the arrows out of hand, so at the end of the day, it's not that big of a deal. With this deck, like, my motto is kind of like one push is all it takes, because one, Evo recruits push with the Evo Dart Goblin can really just like demolish both of their towers. This deck is cool because you kind of just like whittle them down over the course of the match. And the reason you have Mighty Miner is because, you know, if you play against a beatdown, like you play against Golem or you play against something crazy like that, you're supposed to have really good answers for that. Okay, we're going to see if he goes Evo Bomber. Okay, he does not. So I'm going to pressure the opposite lane. And I really want to try and get back to my Dart Goblin here. So we're going to see. I'm going to arrows like this. And then I'm going to wait for him to play anything. Okay, he goes like that. We're going to pop this ability. We're going to go Dart Goblin here. And this is going to look weird, but he's going to play arrows. So we're going to have to go for a defensive Goblin Barrel. And look at how well that defensive Goblin Barrel did. That was awesome. Okay, we're going to pressure with wall breakers. He defended pretty well too. So, I mean, shout outs to him for a really, really good defense. All right, we're going to go like this. Split the recruits like this, 4-2. I'm really impressed with, you know, how he's played so far. I think what I want to do here is I want to go for an early Dart Goblin so that way I can get back to another one. And we're going to pressure hard opposite lane. I don't want him to feel like he can, like, super get away with, you know, going for a lava in the back. We're going to go like this. We're going to try and get the Mighty Miner on the tower. Peep the Mighty Miner. Peep the Mighty Miner. See, it's just too much spam, dude. It's just too much spam. The Mighty Miner and wall breakers are going to take his entire tower. What is bro supposed to do? Good game. That is the motto of this deck. If you're playing against beatdown, you can apply pressure before they have time to build up the push. We're going to hold that W. I'll see you in the next game with the next deck. I need to our next game with our next deck. I'm kind of embarrassed. I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of embarrassed to be playing this deck. But I had to throw some curveballs in here, and this deck is sneaky good. It is balloon, giant balloon freeze with bats and minion horde. And I'm not exaggerating. I saw this deck on, you know, in the top 100. There's some maniac running this deck. And it's a very, very polarizing deck. I totally see why it's really good. You either just like destroy your opponents or they kind of destroy you because this deck is just nuts. All right. Nice. The game comes out. Looks like he's going to be running some sort of like minor control deck. Okay. Got to crack an egg to make an omelet. That's my old saying. So we're going to go like this, and we're also going to go minions behind it. Okay. Immediately pops the ability. My man wastes no time. So once that dies, we're going to go skeletons. We're going to go bats of our own to take care of their bats. We'll see how he defends this. We'll see. He'll probably go last second arrows or something like that. So we're going to go Skarmy. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Let's see. Let's see what the move is. Let's see what the move is. And that's why, dude, this deck is like, it's so cheesy. It really is. Like, you have the freeze, you have the bats. Both of your Evos are insane. Evo Skeletons and Evo Bats get a ton of value. So, really good start. I'm not going to lie. We probably only need a little more damage here and there. And as long as we don't, like, needlessly cycle our Giant, I think it'll be really hard for him to break through with a Mortar. At least a lot of the time. So I'm going to go for a balloon in the corner. I know it looks weird. I don't really have anything else to cycle. And if he goes for a mortar, I can just go for a giant to kite or like to block for it. Going to be very good arrows for me. We're going to go ahead and take this freeze. Lol. Okay, never mind. My mistake for thinking freeze would kill Evo Bats, apparently. Oh, we're still going to get some bat chip. There we go, there we go, there we go. Put it in a spell cycle range for me. Nice. Okay, I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to split the Skarmy, but like most of them going away from the Goblinstein, just to try and like force out the ability or something like that. All right. I have an idea. Yeah, okay, beautiful. So now that the ability comes down, we're going to go like this. And now we're going to go for minions. And that was a great arrows for me. We're going to get 2 balloon hits onto the tower. Nice. Okay, we're going to split skeletons here. And then go for like a low giant. He still needs to respond to those minions. Beautiful. Skarmy's going to come down. Bats are going to come down. I have my freeze ready as well. Don't think I need it though. Nah, I'm going to go arrows though. And then skeletons. Need to be careful here. Can't let him get the cheese off on me. Okay. It's all about game management when you play decks like these. Has to log that. Oh, the freeze and the Skarmy! Dude, this deck is so cheesy. I'm so here for it, though. I'm so here for it. All they can do is go for a miner. But that's tower down. We were about to take both towers. So this deck, it's so cheesy. I love it. The punishing power is nuts. Freeze, balloon, Evo Skeletons, Evo Bats. So if you like this style of deck, which I know I'm kind of scared to do it, it's great in the tournament. So easy win there. We'll see you in the next match. Alright, into our 5th and final game with deck number 5. And this is going to be log bait. I'm going to show 2 variants on screen. There's this variant that I'm showing that's a little more controlled. And then there is the traditional like Hypno CR deck. So both of these variants are very strong in the current meta. I think the one that I'm playing right here is more well-rounded. So like if you're playing in a tournament and you're worried about wins and losses and things like that, the variant that I'm using right now is probably a little better. Damn, wasn't expecting him to have a pump, so that's unfortunate. But it is what it is. I'm going to go like this, and then I guess we'll arrows on to the pump and onto the ice golem, because I don't really have anything else to play. So we're going to hopefully get some damage here, but my boy has elixir pump, and we don't really have anything for it. So if you don't have your goblin baron cycle, the best thing you can do when they go for a pump is to try and get an adequate punish. I think this guy's playing Expo. There's like, it's either Expo or 3 musketeers that are this style of deck. So what we're going to do is we're going to go like this, and like this, and we'll see which side he logs. Okay, he goes minor. Nice, and that's actually pretty much going to take care of the pump, so that was worth it, right, for us to... We got damage on the tower, and we mostly got rid of that elixir collector, but we're going to see, as the match goes on, it's like, he gets more and more pumps down, and it gets more and more frustrating for us, because there's not a lot that we can do, because we don't have a rocket. Okay, 3 musketeers come down. I'm going to cycle princess into the lane that the 2 muskies are. Kind of like behind my tower, because he'll probably go for a tank in front of it or something. Like, it's usually like a common play. We're going to go like this, knight, and then ice spirit. And we're going to live. I mean, we're going to take a lot of damage, but we live at the end of the day. Yeah, Dagger Duchess not great there, but you can see that was like his whole shtick. Like, that was like his whole push. Like, the advantage that was given to him by the elixir pumps is no longer there. I'm going to protect my princess here with the help of Dagger Duchess. Maybe force out a spell or something, but he's actually not even running a spell. Yeah, nice. Yeah, he has to go minor on my princess, which, like, you know, he doesn't want to do that. And now at this point, it's like he doesn't have the benefit of the elixir collectors, so it's like I don't know how he expects to win this game, because he didn't go for enough pumps. So this deck is so good, it's so fundamentally sound. Like, you can outplay so many matchups, good or bad. The Dart Goblin is amazing on defense against beatdown style of decks. We didn't play against a beatdown, but like if you're playing against Golem or Lava Hound or anything like that, like it does so well. It just like demolishes those types of decks, because the poison survives on the troop until it dies. So it's a really strong deck archetype. As you can see here, we just kind of like washed this guy. He didn't play it like super well, but we did play very, very well. We're gonna go like this. It'll protect the mini P.E.K.K.A. or save me from the mini P.E.K.K.A. And you might get a tower here, you might not, but at the end of the day, it's GG's. So good game with our last deck of the video, log bait. And bro's mad he didn't get a tower. One of these 5 decks is going to be amazing. I'll catch you in the outro. And that is going to do it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Good luck in the Double Evolution Tournament. You're going to do great. I hope one of these 5 decks serves you well. And if not, maybe you have your own homemade deck that works. But I promise you, all 5 of these decks are incredibly viable. The important thing with the tournament, you have 5 lives. Be confident. Don't be tilted. Like, really believe in yourself. You're going to lose a few. But just bounce back. And, you know, don't let it get in your head. That's the biggest thing. And, of course, have fun, because it is just a game at the end of the day. So if you've made it this far, I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. And I do really hope to see you in another video real soon. Peace out!